Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I'm not changing my colour scheme, I'm going to stick with Crumb Cake, but I am changing the design of my frame and I'm changing the sentiment as well. So to start off with, the card pieces you're going to need: card base of Crumb Cake, and this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, and in metric that's 21 centimeters by 14.5, scored and folded at 10.5. And then you need a piece of Whisper White, which measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimeters. A top layer of Crumb Cake, and this measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimeters. And then a piece of Whisper White, and this is 2 1/4 inches square, which is 5.75 centimeters square. And then a piece of DSP, which measures 2 3/4 inches square, which is 7 centimeters square. Right, the DSP that I'm using on this and this are both from a new set which is called Affectionately Yours Specialty Designer Series paper, and will be available in the new catalogue when it comes out on the 1st of June. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the Big Shot up and cut my frame first. Right, the dies I'm using are also a new product that will be available as from 1st of June. And they are these absolutely fabulous layering square, layered squares or layering squares, not sure, layering squares Framelit dies, and you get 9 straight squares and you get 10 scalloped squares, and the gap in between each layer, if you did like 2 squares, one next size to the next size, is a lot smaller, a lot closer, and they are just absolutely fabulous, really superb. And we're also bringing out circles and ovals and hearts, all layering sizes. So I've numbered mine, and what I've done is I've imagined that the squares is one set, so I have taken the smallest one from here and started counting. So this is 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I've done exactly the same with the scalloped ones as well. I don't know if you can see, yes you can, where I've actually numbered my dies. But I would just have to be a bit more careful in future when I'm telling you what size dies that you need. So for this project I'm going to take number 5 from the square dies, and that is the 3rd one in, if you start counting from the smallest square, not that one but the smallest one here, so it's 1 2 3, and it works out to number 5. And then you need number 8 over here, so this is the smallest square here, so you start counting from here, so it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so that's that one. You'll probably find it easier to number your dies like this, because hopefully these are going to stay with us for a very long time to come now. Personally, I prefer them when they measure up a lot closer like this, when they layer up rather close like this. Right, and that looks as if I've cut that a bit too small. Will it fit? Yes, it will do. I wonder what I did there. That should actually be a bit bigger than that, but never mind, it fits. I will double check the sizes that I've quoted to you earlier as well. Whatever I've quoted, if it's different from what it says on the screen or in the box below, take what's on the screen or in the box. I will double check this when I've finished the video. So then that's number 5 going in there, and just place it so that you've got what appears to be equal gap all the way round. So you've got the same gap here as here, the same gap here as here. I think that probably looks okay. Right. There we go. I've still managed to get my frame out of it. Still been left with a little frame like that as well. And that's a square from the centre. Right, so let me get the big shot out of the way. Right, so the next part I'm going to do will be the stamping. And first of all, I'll do the sentiment. The sentiment that I'm going to use this time is this one, which is from the Painter's Palette, and I'm using this. It's Our Friendship is a Work of Art. And I'm using Crumb Cake ink. Now hopefully if I just stamp this right in the centre, I should be good to go. So as best I can, I'm judging that I've got the same amount of cardstock sticking out this side of the block as this side, and the same with the top and bottom. But I can't really see how much I've got at the top there, so I'm on a bit of a wing and a prayer there. There we go, it's alright. Smudged a little bit here, haven't I, with the O. I think I pressed too hard. Shall I turn over and do that one again? I think so. Right, let's try again. Can't see why that did that extra bit in the centre of the O. Let's try again. I'm not pressing too hard this time. There we go, that's better. Right, before I put that with the frame, I'm going to do the stamping on here as well. Now on this one I'm going to use the balloon. Let me bring this back so you can see this. And this is from the Confetti Celebration stamp set, which is this one. And this is where the hooray came from that I've used on here as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one balloon, bearing in mind that I'm going to have this up here somewhere. I don't want it to come too high. And I'm doing this in the centre. That's the centre between there. That's okay. Then I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to try and get the string to meet up here. But I'd like the balloon to be a little bit lower. Okay, missed at the bottom there, but that doesn't matter. It's pretty close. And then another one, do this a bit lower. I'm going to try and miss the string this time, so at least they're both the same. In fact, I think I've got it right on top. Oh no, that's it, I've missed it. Right, so there's that bit. Now, this is really a very basic card to make. it's a great card just to showcase some of the new bits. But the problem that I had was when I did this here. And I've used the stamp from the Bloomin' Love stamp set. This one here. And I find when I paint my stamp and stamp it on here, it doesn't come out very well. And I know a lot of people are going to say to me, yes, but you should be using a piercing mat underneath. Well, I did try that and I got the same sort of thing. It hasn't come out as well as it should do. I'll show you that. This is one that I used the piercing mat with. Okay, it's better, but it's still not particularly good. So what I've done is I topped this up with marker pens afterwards. So that's what I want to show you how I did. Right, I've used Cucumber Crush, Watermelon Wonder, Night of Navy and Daffodil Delight. Now on this stamp set, let me show you on this. On the flowers here, so if I rest my elbows there, I shouldn't go walkabouts. Right, there and there, there and there. There's 4 hearts, which I'm going to bring out in a colour. I think I do those yellow. And then there's a 3-petal flower there, there, there and there. And those I'm going to do in Night of Navy. Okay. Obviously you're free to choose whichever colours you like. Now what I do first of all is I go through and I paint all the leaves and the stems. Right, just taking my pen onto a bit of a heart there. But that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I do if when I'm doing this and I get paint in the wrong place, like I have done on that heart. So let me just put that down for a moment. I use one of our blender pens, and although I don't put them away dirty, I do always check them before I reuse them, just in case. And then if you just paint over where you've got the ink you didn't want it to be, so that's on the heart there, just wipe it off and then you can clean your pen off. Okay, it's as easy as that. Right, let me go down and do the other side with the green. Right, remember not to do the hearts. Right, that's the green done then. Now, oops, not that end. I'm using the brush end for painting the stamp. So this I'm going to use on the, what I call the 3-petal flowers. So that's that corner there, that corner, and next to the large flower, and next to the large flower there. And then the yellow, daffodil yellow, I'm going to do the 4 hearts. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I need to huff on this. which I really don't like doing, so excuse me. And I'm just putting it over the centre with my... Oh, I didn't do the Watermelon Wonder flower, did I? Let's try doing that one. I haven't washed this stamp since I've done 2 more cards, and the reason being I am actually trying to test a theory to see whether it helps to have a build-up of ink on there, see if that helps it to stamp any better. I don't think it's going to, but I'm just trying. Right, okay. Let's go back to the huffing again. Right. Oh, that's better. Now I'm going to put this down with the Watermelon Wonder flower right in the centre of the centre string. Okay, so I'm just holding it long enough to give the ink a chance to soak into the cardstock. There we go. Using the piercing mat, it does come out better, although I say it's still not good enough. But if we're going to finish up painting it ourselves, it doesn't matter which one you use. Right, so what I do is I use the pen end of the marker pens, and basically I just draw in along the lines of the stems. I don't try and do anything fancy at all. And then I draw around the shapes of the leaves. And I go through the middle of the leaf just to colour it a little bit. I don't do it so that it's really solid. If you're unsure that whether something's a leaf or a flower or something, just refer back to the picture you have on the stamp box. I think this is about the 5th one I've done like this. I'll show you the others at the end. All the same colourway, but I've just been using different designs of the DSP, all from the Affectionately Yours specialty designer series paper. It's quite a bit of a mouthful, that. I have to really stop and think what I'm saying. Right, I think that's probably about it for the green. Now I'm going to do the blue for the 3 petal flowers, and again the pen end, and I'm just drawing around roughly what I think the 3 petals would have looked like had it stamped out better. And then once I've done that, just very roughly colour it in. As with the glaze, I don't do it solid because I don't want it too heavy, but I do want it to look as if it's been coloured in rather than badly stamped. And then last of all, no, second to last is the yellow. I'm going to do the hearts. I tend to do these a little bit more solid because the yellow is a much lighter colour. 2, 3, 4, and then the large flower. And this is a flower that's got sort of 2 scallops on each petal. There we go. Just colour the centre bit in, and I just draw some lines towards the centre from the outside of the petals. Again, not going for solid colour. There we go. In fact, there's one of the blue flowers I think could do with a little bit more blue colour with it. It's as if maybe I neglected it altogether. There we go. Okay, let me show you that now. Okay, as you can see, I haven't coloured all the leaves and everything solid, but it certainly looks a lot better than what it did to start off with. Right, the only other colouring I do on this section is I use my white gel pen and just do a little bit of shadow on the sides of the balloons. There we go. Right, so all I need to do now is to put the card together. So I'll use my Tombow. There we go, that's the white layer. Now we do the balloon layer. Right, just to frame my sentiment now, and I will bring my silicone mat over and just see how straight I managed to get with this one. Pretty good, eh? The next problem will be trying to get it onto the card straight. So what I do, just use some Tombow to get the white adhered to the frame, and then I'll put the whole thing onto my card using dimensionals. Right, so that's Tombow, tweezers. Now this has actually got a design on it going up or down, and that's the only thing you really need to watch for. But it doesn't matter which way the up and down's going. Just make sure that's straight. There is a little bit of leeway doing this. If you needed to put your frame on slightly crooked, it wouldn't hurt. Like that, exactly like that. Okay, that is definitely crooked, but it's straight from the front, so that's alright. Right, so that's going to have dimensionals, which are here. So I'll have one in each corner and one in the centre. As I say, this is really a very easy, straightforward card to make, but it was just the business that I was struggling with the stamping the stamp that I'd actually coloured using marker pens. Right, and what I found for me, to get this on here nice and straight, I line my card up with one of the straight lines on the grid here, making sure that that dark line there is going to be my right positioning for this, so that I can get it going like that. And then once I'm happy that that's about right, I know that it's just over 3 squares from the other cards I've been doing. So make sure that that's straight, make sure that's straight, and then my ruler. And I just bring the ruler in and I line it up with the dark line above the card and below the card. Is that right? Okay. Now because that's straight, if I put this straight, it should be straight all over. I'm not pressing it down just in case. I don't think that does look straight, does it? No, it's just over the pencil line. Oh, maybe it is. You can see why I struggle, can't you? Right, okay, there we go. There's today's card. That's the one I showed you to begin with. And as I say, I have got some others. There's another one with Hooray on it. And this is the one that I stamped this using a piercing mat. I've also made this one, which is the one that I showed on my blog this morning. Let's move these over a bit. And then this one as well. And I used this stamp from the stamp set called Thankful Thoughts, and I used this. Your generosity is second only to your fabulosity. Nice word, isn't it? Right, there you go. There's my cards for today. I hope you like them. The DSP is from the one set, and the reason it's called Specialty is because there are 2 pieces that have got this gold embossing in them. Isn't that lovely? Many thanks for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you have any questions about any of this, please contact me. I'm always happy to help you. If you'd like to buy any of the products that I featured here, they'll be available after 1st of June. If you would like a catalogue and you don't already have your own demonstrator, please contact me and I'll be happy to send you a copy. I will be putting all the details, the measurements and the products that I've used on the screen. If you can't see them, please check the details in the box below. I'll be putting them all there so everything's all nice and handy for you. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.